Okay, I've gone live now. Yeah.
Uh,
Um, just checking to make sure it's Facebook. It says it's live on Facebook, so I trust that it's live on Facebook, even though I can't see it right now. One second. I'll just have a quick. Yes, it says Sophia Fossil is live right now. Yep, okay, brilliant. Okay, we are finally properly live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to All You Need to Know About Chakras with me, Akuya Fosuhne, and Yao Fosu, the expert in these matters. We are now at chakra 4, the heart chakra. And as per usual, we're going to begin the show with Yao telling us another story about his spiritual expansion, what's been happening with him, and then going into the chakras as a whole. And then we shall specialize into the heart chakra. Hi, Yao.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Very chilled today. How are you feeling?
Okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, just same as always. Yeah.
Excellent. I think I've inherited a bit of your super chill today, yesterday and today.
I can't see your face. I can only see like you're
Oh,
sewing.
because of
You're
the
always
little,
okay.
yeah,
There. Yeah,
this way. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Everybody else, I apologize for the other view, but it's just because Yao can't see my computer view. So that's why you've got two of me. Huge apologies. Ignore. Ignore one of them. So yeah, tell us a bit about how you start, or one of the experiences as these gifts started to come through.
I will go. Well, I won't even go into the gifts. I'll go into just maybe an experience what I had that made me think about, or made me know that there was more to this world than, like, you could say, meets the eye. Basically, I think it was, I should have even got the dates now. I didn't because I was thinking about it last week and I was supposed to get the date, but I think it was in 2007. I may be wrong, but basically, Arsenal, yeah, maybe. Arsenal were playing Inter Milan anyway on that day, and that's how I remember the date, because I'd have to look at the time that Arsenal played Inter Milan, and at the time I used to go to like my ex-girlfriend's house, and I've told you the story, but I used to go to an ex-girlfriend's house after work. Um, and then I'd wait for her because she was working in retail at the time. So she used to finish later than me. And then I got usual thing, go to her house, um, watch TV before she gets home. And I was watching Arsenal versus Inter, and she used to do the same thing whenever she came in from work. She used to kind of, like, her bed was facing, like, she used to have like a massive bunk bed, but her bed used to face the TV. So I used to just lie on the bed and then just watch TV. But then she used to come in and, like, stand in front of the TV and always start, like, telling me about her day in retail. And then anyone who knows me knows that talking about work is not, like, one of my, like, pleasures. Basically, it's like once you leave work, you kind of just leave work. Well, I say that, but I remember when I first started personal training, I was doing the same thing. But anyway, I digress. But basically, so she used to just talk about this amazing day she's had working in retail. And in my mind, I'm just lying there, and you talk about super chilled. I was super chilled that day. And in my mind, all I was saying to myself is, she always stands in front of the TV, just was it? And it's almost like Snoopy, you know, when Snoopy, you're watching Snoopy and and he's on the phone, it's like wow, 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 the voice. It was like that. That's how I was hearing her voice. And then out of nowhere, like, and it will sound mad, but basically this hand, which wasn't a hand, it was the tiniest, like, it was almost like if you drew a hand out of dots, like if pencils, but yet you could see every single detail of this hand, every single detail, but it was like tiny pinpricks. And when I say this, like, tell people this, it was only it lasted for about a second at the most, and it went the hand went like opened up, then went like a two, like this, like like thing, and then banged her on the head. And as she's talking, she just stopped talking, and I've seen it, and she's felt it, and she's just jumped on me on the bed, shaking, like completely shaking. And I was excited because I was like, "Wow, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?" And then she's just like petrified, like I've never ever seen somebody that petrified, just like. And I was just excited because it was, for me, it was just like, I don't know, it was almost like there's, you know, I always knew that there's more to this, like, life than, and this was just a confirmed that I just knew, obviously, because it's like you ask yourself questions like, why are you here? Like, you know, why do birds fly? Why, you know, you can answer, you can go on and on, but there's no definitive answers really. But this just showed me that there was actually even more to, so there was even more questions to even ask or to explore. And it just gave me that a realization that there was so much more. And yeah, and then going back to even the story, like, she was just petrified. And then after I got out of her that she just like felt this hand, like, or fingers, just felt fingers hitting her on the head, like it was just like tap, like that on the top of her head, and just disappeared. And like I said, it was 1 second, but yet you could see through it. But as I say, it was like a second, but yet you could see through it, but see every single detail about this hand, like on this hand. But it was so quick. And then, like, once she calmed down, she wouldn't even speak about it. Like, she wouldn't, like, I couldn't get nothing else out of her. Like, there wasn't really much else other than really that she's been hit on the head by this mysterious hand. Yeah. And then like, her house was one of, like, when you're younger, it was one of the houses that, like, your mates come and plot around the house, basically, like when they finish work and all of that stuff. But the next, they didn't come that day, but the following day we had like mates over. And then I like, obviously there's a few of us, and I just brought it up like, oh my God, like yesterday, what happened? Like, you tell your friend. And then yet again, like, her name's Katie, she just like freaked out, like, shut up, shut up. She never, like, she's not somebody who shouts at me, like, you know what I mean? But that situation, like, she went back into her panic mode, like, like totally thing,
reality.
Like, just like completely petrified. And so, like, and none of, like, her friends, like, if you know this girl, like, like, she's not this type of person, kind of thing. Like, you won't really see her like having an hysterical breakdown, so to speak, like in front of everybody as well. And she went crazy. Then I just stopped. But then when she left the room at one point in the evening, then I told that they were all curious to know like what happened. And I told them about like what happened. And it was like, they, like, typically if somebody tells them a story, but they could even feel like, that must have happened because of the way she reacted. And it was just one of the things that, yet again, it's almost like when something happens to you, but then there's that confirmation because of somebody else experiences that happening as well. So I would say, yeah, that day it just gave it like, yeah, just threw certain things into my life, like, wow, there's so much more than like, yeah, just than what you see every single day, what just seems to make sense. You know, and I say sense.
Like now, what do
Yeah.
you think that hand was? Do you have any idea at all now? Do you
I
think created
y- sorry.
you
in
think you created it?
in one way, like in some ways, I like it, because then I could be thinking about, like, there's two aspects where I've often thought that, like, did I create that in my mind? Like I had this, like, you know what I mean? And I was in such a relaxed state. But then yet again, when I do think like that, I sometimes think, that's just my, like, could be my ego. Like, you know what I mean? It's just trying to, because I've tried it other times and it's never happened. Like, I'm gonna lie, I've tried it on a few occasions and it's like I've never seen anything like that or had anything close to that experience. Another thought I had was maybe that I was just somehow interfacing with another, I don't know, another reality, and something has like caught thoughts or something and like joined in with the reality or something. I don't know, but
Mm.
yeah, it was just something which, yeah, I'll never ever forget, basically. Yeah, until if I can create it in the future on many occasions, and then it will just be like, that just happened. You know what I mean? But for now, it's a unique,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a unique experience. Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a kid, hearing the story in Ghana of Mami, our aunt. Somebody brought their handicapped daughter to her because all of a sudden, over about a period of time, but she wasn't born doing this, stones would either come and hit her
Mm.
or they would hit other people close in proximity to her.
Yeah.
He brought her to Mami because obviously this was now like she couldn't go outside and
Mm.
all of this kind of stuff. So it was like a kind of poltergeist type of
Yeah.
thing. And I remember hearing now secondhand, but I remember hearing that what Mami had said was that the child kind of occupied this reality,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
in reality, there it wasn't Mortia, so it wasn't the little people, but there was some kind of spirits
Mm.
that were playing with her.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they would be upset at maybe children who had a go at her in the past because
Mm.
she's slow and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like they were interfering now too much
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this reality. And yeah, and I must ask Sister Fio, she remembers the story, because I remember at the time they had to bring like quite a lot of family members to come bring various things, and Mommy had to pray for this girl, have her do all these different kind of baths to move her right into this reality and
Yeah.
kind of close the portal, I suppose, with the other reality. But I've since read, especially since I've been looking into people having near-death experiences and remembering past lives, this sort of thing actually isn't as rare. Where sometimes some children can, the idea of poltergeist isn't always that it's a separate entity. It's actually also something to do very often with the person who's experiencing a poltergeist situation
Yeah.
house.
Well,
So
yeah. With this one, well, with that, like what happened,
mm,
it's like, I don't know, like in the last few years, you always hearing things, because I used to just say to people, it just looked like particles. It looked like particles.
that's
And
exactly.
I'm trying to look at, like, and I was trying to find things on particles in this, And then in the last few years, people talking about subatomic particles and all of this sort of stuff. And some of the stuff I hear within that seems sort of close, to even, the way that hand looked. It was like almost like these subatomic particles. It was like that all these particles were able to be, were manifested into some kind of matter. That's basically what I like, just what I got basically in terms of what I saw. And it looked like a mudra as well. That's the way, like the way the hand came up and then done that, it all looks like how you would throw up a mudra. Like,
amazing
at the time.
Did you want to say another one?
No, saying at the time I didn't know nothing about mudras as well, or any of this sort of stuff, but it was just, again, certain things happen in life and then it kind of just sends you on a little journey of just, let me find out about certain things. And then you're just, it almost like you're drawing things from the past as well. It all seems to come back or have some kind of association.
Definitely. Excellent. So let's go into the chakras today. So give us your view of the whole chakra system before we dive into the heart chakra, which is our speciality for today.
Okay. So obviously, I wanted to read, because it was like I was listening to a talk by Wayne Chandler last week, and he read something from a book, and I just wanted to start off with that as well. So it was, this is by Rosalind Breyer. These seven chakras are who and what we are, what we feel and how we think and change. They are how we express ourselves and how we create. The chakra system is precisely the means by which we gain awareness. It is how we experience life, how we perceive reality, and how we relate to self, others, and the world. It is life itself. And I think, that really, even like today we're going into the heart, I think that just, typified even how the chakra system works for us, basically. And then over the weeks, over the last few weeks, we touched on the root chakra, and that was to do with our stability, innocence, our physical health, prosperity, trust, security, survival. And then we went into the sacral chakra, which is the color orange, which was to do with pleasure, feeling, sexuality, creativity, and our knowledge. And then last week we went into the solar plexus, which is the color yellow, and that's to do with vitality, purpose, satisfaction, contentment, personal power, confidence, self-control. And today we're going to go into the heart chakra, which is green, and that's to do with our compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, responsibility, confidence, security, stability, and prosperity. And then in next week's show, we'll be going on to the throat chakra, color blue, which is creativity, communication, diplomacy, trust, expression, loyalty, organization. And then we're going to go into our third eye, which is our sixth chakra, colors indigo, and that's all to do with your intuition, psychic abilities, forgiveness, compassion, consciousness, imagination, and clear seeing. You could see some of those things in our heart chakra as well. And then the seventh and final chakra, where we gain our sovereignty, is the crown, and the colors violet, and that's all about our knowing. So we're going to put all of those, the journey of our six chakras into this one once we reach that place. And that's to do with wisdom, knowledge, consciousness, subconscious, superconscious, knowing, trust, and our spiritual connection. And that's right at the crown of our head. And all those, these are the 7 main chakras we're talking about. There are many more chakras, but we're just sticking with the basics. And so your root chakra is should we just start with that, because we went through all the chakras last week as well, so we can just go into the heart, I think.
Yeah, definitely, because watch the other shows for
So
the first.
I could witter on for ages about the rest of them. So all right, then let's go into the slides. I actually brought this chart as well, because this chart was showing loads of other you could say chakras, what come up from the head basically. And maybe next week I'll talk about one of those experiences, which is to do with the aura, where it seemed like I had certain things open up, and basically this thing just stopped before my crown, but I could feel just different rays of energy basically just coming from the bottom of my spine all the way up, and it just stopped at a point. Jen said that she was going to tell me what this point was, but she hasn't told me yet. But that might have something to do with this this chart here, but we'll maybe go into it next week when I find a little bit more information. Okay, so we can see the importance of the heart, even like we brought this chart up, just brought this slide up just in terms of the physical heart. The heart and brain maintain a continuous two-way dialogue, each influencing the other's functioning. Although it's not well known, the heart sends far more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And the signals the heart sends to the brain can influence perception, higher cognitive functions. The heart also generates the strongest rhythmic electromagnetic field in the body. And this actually can be measured in the brain waves of people around us. And yeah, definitely, I on a personal note, I feel like the messages that the heart not only sends to my brain, but sends to other chakras, or to other just places within the body itself, especially during the heart meditations, or the meditations are called the heart during the meditations, how the strength of this heart energy and how just basically how it links up into both all the from the bottom to the top basically.
Yeah, because you said quite often when we meditations, you said about kind of like move energy from your heart down to your root chakra, your solar plexus.
Because just the way it links basically to everything. Okay, so I'll move on. Okay, so I just thought I wrote in the introduction and correspondence, Anahata, that's the name of the heart chakra in Sanskrit. This literally means unstruck, or I've heard it being unstruck or unstruck sound. That's the literal meaning of Anahata. The name alone carries a lot of symbolism. Firstly, it means that the heart chakra at its deepest core is always unhurt, untouched by the drama and dreams of this world, forever abiding in eternal love and peace. Secondly, it refers to the heart as its own source of power without a second. To feel the power of the heart in vibration, with 4 or 5 hearts in vibration during a chakra opening session, is like no other planetary body within the subtle body. It's like being hit with this electromagnetic power which illuminates from the cosmic body and the universe. I can only describe it as a feeling which is too much to bear and too good to let go. The heart chakra is about emotion. It gives and asks for nothing in return. The main function is transformation. Its location is in the center of the thoracic cavity behind the heart. So we're going to look at the symbol, because by looking at the heart symbol, you can start to get a start to better grasp in symbolic form the meanings carried by the energy of the 4th chakra, or Anahata. This symbol, also named yantra in some traditions, represents ideas, meanings, and energies in tangible and graphic form. So I wanted to show the yantra. So I don't know if you've ever seen a yantra before. Yeah, and some people use it in meditations and all sorts. Do you want to interject?
What's the significance of the yantra? Because my friend has that as a scarification on her back.
So she's got a yantra as a scarification.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture. She's got the most amazing scarifications, and she has that on her back.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I know that because of I haven't really looked so much into the yantra itself, but like they say that looking at it first, like you're looking at that you can see the point in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, so they say the adepts in yoga describe the point as a gateway leading to the invisible to the visible. So worlds basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to ask her some more about why she has that on her back. Yeah.
So I got this one. So this is they say, look, you can read that. So representations of the yantra in India have been considered dated back to 11,000, 10,000 years. And so you could see, and I remember, I was trying to remember now, something about the triangles, like during your meditation, you're sitting in a triangle shape. So you're bringing up the shape of a yantra itself. As well as that, it's somehow, I don't know the whole, not going to say that I'm an expert on the yantra, but somehow it's supposed to communicate and heal your DNA. I've heard that as well. So by looking at the shapes, the triangular shapes, when I was looking at it, I started drawing. Because I looked at this, and then a few months back, I was looking at Tesla, and it was to do with vortex mathematics. And then when I did look at the yantra with vortex mathematics, I started getting all of these sort of things associated with the yantra. So people had deciphered the same thing when I was looking at it. And then even one of the vortex black holes, that's another thing, but I should have got that out. But it's actually, there's something in one of the Adinkra signs, which has this as well, with vortex black and white hole. So that's the association, and I've never put that together, and it's to do with like masculine and feminine energies and things like that.
Right. Yeah. I remember when we did the symbols, and were.
I got that. Yeah, I got that one out. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then so it was like there's this mathematical sequence with the 3, 6, and 9, and I can't remember the whole thing now. But basically, when I was looking at this mathematical sequence as how energy runs through these points, it was just like it was showing me almost exactly the same thing as the yantra.
Okay. Yeah. And have you gone back to having a look at the jinyami? Because do you remember when you had a look at the jinyami symbol, you were saying you had this, you got the sense that was also about the heart.
Yeah, I at the time I got certain things, but I can't even. I'd have to look at it again. I can't remember what it was like. Because at the time I was looking at so many drinkers. Nowadays I can't even remember all of the things that I was like studying back then. I have to go back and recalibrate everything as well. So and this was like this was some multiplications of the Shari Yantra, and this person was showing this like basically just showing how this shape corresponds to Tesla's multiplication chart. But then when I was looking at it as well, it was just the same as how you would see almost like when I see the vortex of a chakra.
Okay.
So everything it all corresponds basically. So you could find that most probably just looking at the yantra during your meditations is going to it's going to correspond with obviously healing your energetic body, bringing energies into your body as well. That's what I feel. But
So the kind of spiral that's in there, that's
yeah,
coming
out.
the
Exactly. Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
Okay, see the chakras.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's almost like you can draw these shapes in many ways, basically. So in different ways, and then it's like, because it's all to do with light and angles and energy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So where was I?
The heart is air.
Yeah. So let me. Okay. So okay. But the heart chakra symbol is a green lotus with 12 petals. I should have gone back to that. Let's see. The heart with what's it with? Each petal corresponds to a sound. I'm not going to give out the sounds because I'm not that good with the what's it with the Indian sounds that I found. I should have got a video next time with one dude. He does all the sound, and basically he was saying that when you recite these sounds, it's like it's almost like sending a sound into a wishing tree, and then you can have your wish and bring it, and that wish will be manifested. So okay, and the color green is nature's favorite color, and that's if nature was personified with a divine ego which has favorites. Green represents life, nature, fertility, the interwoven web that connects all life. It's associated with the qualities of peace, happiness, and anything that flourishes and grows. This is very appropriate for the heart chakra, since its relationship to connection and wholeness. In its center, we find the six-pointed star, also known as the hexagram, which is made out of two intersecting triangles, one with them pointing up and the other one pointing down. This also refers to the fact that the heart chakra marks the middle of the chakra ladder, and the three more physical chakras below it, and the three more spiritual chakras above. As such, it is the meeting point between the flow of human consciousness upwards towards the spiritual and the flow of soul consciousness towards the manifested world. The heart chakra seeks a balance between the two flows, the integration of spirit and matter when using this chart. The downward triangle carries the energy of the divine feminine, as well as the alchemical symbol of air, and the upward facing triangle carries the energy of the divine masculine and the alchemical symbol of fire. And the fourth chakra's natural element, air. If you've worked with other chakras, you can integrate all of the elements to support this work. The heart chakra is the place of integration. In mind, body, spirit, you can rise up from air into the ether from the heart. The first chakra is root, earth, steady and grounded. The second chakra is sacral water, brings fertility, creativity, and the embodiment of the divine feminine. The third chakra is the solar plexus, fire in the belly required to transform that grounded creativity into positive action. And now you have air, dispersing, integrating spiritual understanding of love, compassion, connection to everything you encounter. Air is like love, is the embodiment of as within, so without. You can survive for weeks with no food, earth, days with no water, hours without heat, fire, but only a few minutes or seconds without air. Air is breath, is prana, the power that flows in all living forms and performs vital functions. The more we breathe deeply and consciously, the more air energy we allow to flow through our bodies, the more we become unstuck, and the more we integrate into the heart. So yeah, that was that for the first bit. Any questions or anything to interject?
No, it's all making sense. So carry on.
Okay, so then we can go into an unbalanced heart, basically. So you may as well go into that. Okay, 1 second, because So, as we can see, as we've been going through the chakras, and then we talk about the chakras being balanced and unbalanced, but basically they're closed or their clothes, which makes them underactive, or sometimes they're overactive because they're doing work to compensate for another energy center.
The look of the chakras, because we didn't do that today. How you feel them when you work with yourself or people.
I would just say that I feel them in a vibrational energy, and it's almost like almost like a vortex. So and they will have they just have different sounds to them as well. So and the sound is due to like the speed. So sometimes they can make a little more like almost like a grumbling sound before it comes out, and then that typically means that there's a lot of energy in the center which is like blocked. And then sometimes it will just be like a spinning, almost like a whirlwind sound, where there's hardly any energy in the center. All the energy is out, like, and it's just flowing, which means that like it's working extremely fast. Or sometimes it can be just like it's like almost like a hurricane in terms of the speed. I'm saying when it's clockwise, where it's just like that is where it's just fully opened. And sometimes it could be an anti-clockwise rotation. It can, and yeah, which means that it's overactive. Okay. And yeah, so and then that will have its different rates of speeds as well. And sometimes what I've started to notice more of is when I'm going to the different chakras and then seeing certain colors what come with the chakras as well. And sometimes it just feels like it's weird, because it feels like I can almost see like splats of paint. It feels like I'll hear the sound and then it will be like a splat of some kind of paint or things like that. And it's just, yeah, so I'm starting to notice more colors what come with the associations. And just like how we're doing this, it's about learning. I'm learning, like I always say this, I'm learning as well. It just seems like I'm noticing more, and then it's more like once I notice something, then I have to go into meditations and then ask questions. So that's one of the things I'm going to start doing, is asking questions more about what these colors mean, because I believe I know that the colors have a language alongside the vibrational frequencies as well. So it's just about, yeah, again, understanding the language. And then for me, when I'm in some of the spaces, I will feel sometimes I feel emotions what come with being in that space, basically. So almost like what that energy center has in an emotional sense. I feel the emotion of the the place as well. Yeah.
And when you're going to balance them, like let's say one that's going anti-clockwise really fast, how are you kind of trying to slow it down to make it go around the...
To be honest, I don't do anything in terms of like, it's not like I've got like a hammer and a chisel, or you know, all I do is just see what it is, and then literally just say balance it, and then like you could say the spirit will go to work. Yeah, just it's like it's so it's almost like all I do is I'm able to see what's going on and just give it a command, and then things will start happening in that area. Even and it's the same thing in terms of when certain connections are made. I don't have anything to do with like saying, oh, this needs to be made, like I was looking at almost like a circuit board, because it's almost like it is like a circuit board, but it's not that I have any command over the circuit board apart from seeing what it is and being able to like just say something, and then you'll just say like, yeah, the spirit or energy will take over from what I've witnessed. if I see it and don't say anything, nothing will happen, because I've sometimes there'll be a thing, but I can see it. If the person's not giving me information, I mean, giving me permission to do anything, I'm not going to do something, you know. So I could go around the streets looking at people's chakras, but I'm not going to start balancing them because I haven't been given the permission to. So it's just basically just being able to command something, and then the universe takes over from the command that I've just given. That's literally it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So carry on into what when it's unbalanced for the heart.
So an unbalanced heart chakra would be like you might on the physical plane could have circulatory issues, blood pressure issues, respiratory issues, and then physically you could suffer from immune disorders, cancer, heart problems, chest infections, disorders of the nervous system, depression. And then on the psychological plane, you could feel confusion, frustration, act unlawfully, lack clarity, direction in your life, lack commitment to just lacking commitment to essential mundane matters. You could be tricked. You could trick yourself into believing that you're operating from your heart, but basically you just want power. Or as well as that, sometimes you feel that you're operating from the heart, but you could be operating from a place of lack of self-esteem and fear as well. So it can manifest in many ways. You could have an abusive relationship in love, abusive to yourself. You're not loving to yourself. Whether it's narcotics abuses, alcohol, all of these things can manifest in terms of just being, as well as that, just being able to not be able to get rid of grief. Just be stuck in grief would have a manifestation of having that unblocked up, having blockages in the heart as well, and the fear of your capacity to give love as well as that, even to be lovable, to receive it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's really big.
Yeah. Well, obviously, because even when you're thinking about the location of the heart, it's like right in the center of your spine. So that in itself, in terms of even the location, gives importance to the significance of it. And as like said many times, it's like right in the middle, in that 7 chart system, it lies right in the middle of that system, as well as that, and just the way that it is feeding everything. It's just like, because I just feel that the heart is just like a mother with its newborn child. It's not looking for what it's going to get from that child. It's always giving, always giving the milk, always making sure that the child is going to be strong and grow. It's almost like being that heart energy is like being in that position all the time. That's how I see the heart. Obviously, as you get older or whatever, sometimes parents, they might start looking for love of your kids or respect and all of that stuff. But when that child is a baby, you know what I mean, it is that you're really in that place of unconditional love. And that's basically what the heart is all about.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. Okay. So then when it's balanced.
Yeah. So just go with this chart, like a healthy heart. You'll have a great blood circulation, steady blood pressure. You're accepting, you're forgiving of yourself and others. You've got an inner sense of happiness and peace. You're understanding, compassionate, loving towards yourself and others. Major thing is that you're able to forgive as well. Once you're really working in the heart, forgiveness is a major part of it, is just forgiveness and being able to let go.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Really makes sense, totally.
and as I was saying earlier, it's all of, and being in the heart is that place of transformation as well. So it's like, because if once you've really come out of those lower three, from the root, the sacral and the solar plexus, and then you've come up into that heart place, this is the place of transformation from that physical plane into the spiritual plane, you know. And then that's where you say that you're getting your light body, because you need to be light to ascend into these higher stratospheres. And so when you're working in the heart, you're giving respect to your ancestors, your elders, because of all of those records are located. I've said it before, it's almost like the heart, and like to me, the experiences I've had in terms of getting communication from the heart was getting in touch with past lives. It was the place where I got in touch with certain aspects of myself from the past, and it was that direct communication through the heart, not through any other centers. And so it just made me think that this was really the place where it was like where these records, some of these records were kept, and you could see in the funeral rites in Kemet that they got rid of the brain, but they kept the heart. That was like the importance of that heart space, is because that was the place which was like they saw it as almost like that was the place of eternal life.
Right. That's really fascinating, because in my research about consciousness and realizing that the I is the thing that kind of survives after the body dies, and they know that because when people have near-death experiences or children who are born with a memory of a past life, they always talk about kind of like, I was a doctor in my past life. Near-death experience, they'll say, I rose above my body and I looked down and I saw what the doctors were doing. So that gives you to the I is the thing that's eternal, but it also makes sense that there is a connection between that I consciousness and the heart, because out of all the organs that are transplanted, the organ that carries the most amount of memory is when people have heart transplants.
That's another one.
People can literally have a complete personality change when they have a heart transplant. Whereas other organs do have certain other memories, but the heart carries makes sense.
I was listening to when you talk about that, I was listening to a bodybuilder, an old body, like what's his name? I forgot his name now. But basically, he had a heart transplant, and he was talking about that. He, like, obviously he's like a big guy from LA and all of this stuff, this dude. And and then he was talking that he got his heart basically from, it was from she was like a small Oriental woman, basically. It's like, so he was thinking like, this thing isn't gonna, like, it's not gonna be good enough almost, like, because he was like when the doctor told him who it was from, it was like he was saying it was just like from some tiny Oriental woman, I think. And then he started saying that basically he's like now in communication with her.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he gives it like he feels her. He basically feels her, and they communicate. He talks to her and everything. It was like on some interview with Joe Rogan. Yeah, and he was just talking about the communication and stuff. And then at that time, because I'd read about other things where there was like a dude who he had no creative, like, I don't know, like a bone in his body. He had a heart transplant. And then he started writing this poetry, like magnificent poetry. And then that later found out that the person he had got his heart from was a poet, and somebody else was able to play the piano, never played the piano, and then was able to play the piano after having a heart transplant.
It's definitely makes sense that the heart, and these ancients knew that there was something more to the heart than the beating organ.
But then I wonder then what happens when you does that mean that now you share your consciousness for eternity with that person? Like you're stuck to them or something?
I reckon the heart may be, you know, the Bagara people of Burkina Faso, they have this belief that and when you're an ancestor, they'll look down on the community and you'll all see that there's this problem going on, and the ancestors will consult each other, and the person who's most able to deal with a certain problem will come, and they'll come, but in the birth canal they will forget why they came. But
Yeah,
we remember, because actually maybe your mission is stored in the heart.
exactly. Like, yeah,
So I can imagine that. So the eye of consciousness is not in the heart, but the heart is carrying some information that you're going to need. But the eye of consciousness only belongs, you know, it's only a facet of the greater
yeah.
consciousness. That the heart is very, very special because it's carrying some very individual information. So I can
And
imagine contact each other.
one of the things was, like, I didn't bring it out. I was supposed to. I just remembered now, was even the Sankofa sign. There's two. One with the bird facing backwards, and then the other one is the symbol of the heart.
Yes, yes, yes,
So,
yes.
and then and then with that, it's like Sankofa is about going back, and it's not, you know, it's going back to get what you've forgotten.
Yes. Oh my
It,
God, yes. That's so true.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah, the most important part of Sankofa, yeah.
yeah,
You know, back and fetch it.
exactly.
Yes,
So it's even telling, within that, it's telling you about your memory. It's,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Exciting. Okay, tell us about healing uh,
Okay,
or
so
aligning our unbalanced heart.
yeah, so in terms of, like, yeah, just going in, um yeah, just finding your sense of compassion and healing yourself. Obviously, like I said earlier about the color green, eating
Mm.
green foods, where even, yeah, just having a new relationship with the color green, because this green is abundance, it's all around us. So wearing green clothes, uh, uh, visualization is a major thing. Visualization in whether it's green, having, yeah, just going out and even hugging a tree, having an association with a tree, you know. That's one of the things that seems to be getting quite popular as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Okay, so I'll just move on to, okay, and then obviously I was going to go into, like, the stones.
Hmm.
Some of the stones that you can, yeah, again, you're using that color frequency therapy, serpentine, jade. And I've got today my shirt, the button, you can't, maybe I can't even see my screen, but one of my buttons is using I think it's just, yeah, like the jade, I think it is, on my shirt as well. It's like, and then one of my favorites for the heart is the rose quartz. That's like, yeah, obviously it's pink, but pink, you can use it, pink and green is their heart shapes, basically. I mean, their heart colors. I'd say the pink is more, using the pink has that masculine energy, and then the green is that feminine energy. And even having those two things together, pink and green. And just thinking of that, just remembered I had a dream where the guy was wearing a pink and green suit, or pink and turquoise suit, because
Oh,
turquoise, yeah, it was just, but it wasn't like I say, a dream. Basically, it was just a guy sitting down with a pink and turquoise suit, and it was just, that was it. And he was just there, and it was just for about, yeah, again, it was only a few seconds, and it was like, yeah, symbolizing something. But yeah, I just thought of the colors pink and turquoise, because that turquoise is good. It's a nice color for the heart as well, but it corresponds with the throat, so it's bringing you with that heart and throat energy, basically. And yeah, again, there's so much communication between the heart and the throat. That's one of the major communication centers, in terms of, yeah, like the messages that get sent from the heart and the throat, because obviously you're speaking from your heart,
yes, yes, yes.
listening from your heart as well. So
Can you
yeah.
tell me how do the crystals, how do they actually affect our chakras? Like
Well, they
how
have
they're working?
they all the crystals will have a certain vibrational frequency with to them. So it's just about, and then yeah, just getting in touch with that, because it's almost like within that vibration, it's because of the crystal itself, it's almost like condensed water, which water itself has a memory. So, and each crystal will have a vibrational frequency with it's almost like that frequency of that water contained. And yet again, you're using that, your the vibrational energy of the frequency of the color as well. So it's got so many properties in terms of just it's almost like you're holding something what brings in the power of nature, but just in that condensed form. So just by holding it, bringing in that frequency, because your frequency might be low. So then it's just like holding something, bringing in that vibrational frequency, yet again, what corresponds to one of those certain energy points. So like I said it, I think I said it in a last in something else, that for me it's like you would use two modalities. So sometimes you could bring in, say if you're using crystals as well as yoga as a physical thing, yoga is really good for bringing in energy, and the crystal itself has a vibrational frequency, and so the crystal would be the one brings in the energy, one that harmonizes a frequency, or like brings in the frequency basically. So then that would just hold that frequency just to just bring, and then it's almost like then your body or a certain center would start vibrating within that frequency of maybe of holding like that crystal, or whether you're using an essential oil which will have a certain vibrational frequency as well. So just by smelling that, and that's going to change the vibe, because everything is energy and vibration. So that's going to bring in a certain vibration into your body, working with certain glands, getting them to vibrate, as well as that's going to bring in certain hormones that's going to correspond with your moods and everything else. And then yet again, how your mood is how you're thinking. You know, it's just everything will synchronizing with everything. And yet again, certain crystals will almost like call to you. So you're like myself, I usually have some of the same crystals, because they're the ones what, I don't know, it's like an intuitive thing. It's like I feel that, yeah, it's like or you're going to the shop and it's like that crystal, some crystal will be like, you might not even gone into the shop for a certain crystal, but then another one will call to you, because it's like that is what you might need, or it's calling to you. Yeah. So typically, like I say, typically for the heart, my one is always rose quartz. I see, yeah, because I've just felt the effects. I haven't tried loads of other ones, but it's almost like sometimes when you try something and it feels good, and it's like, you know what, I'm going to stick to that. So I've always felt like rose quartz under my bed, because I've just felt, and I didn't even, it's just something that came to me, because I was listening to when I was talking about Wayne Chandler. He was talking about that you shouldn't work on the top of your heart, and which I got was working like with a crystal or something, placing it on the top of your chest, like that is what he said. Like I haven't heard it anywhere else. But one thing that I just thought about, and I hadn't thought about it before, because of when I placed the rose quartz crystal, when I found the best effects was that, and I've said it before, in terms of I placed it under my bed.
Yeah, I remember you. That's what
Yeah.
you told all of
And
us.
I
Yeah.
used to, and I feel it and I just feel it coming up my spine. So that kind of corresponds to exactly what he's saying, in terms of, the way he said it, it was almost like it's dangerous to put it there. But one thing from personal experience, not from even just knowing that information before, was when I have it under my bed, just the feeling that when I was going to sleep, and then I can just feel this energy coming up my spine, hitting my heart, and it just seemed like it was distributing energy everywhere else. So that, and then again, that would be a perfect for, with that heart, with that crystal, that would be a perfect use for me of using a crystal. Same thing as another one second. What is, hopefully you can see it, but it's like selenite wand.
You've
For
got
me,
a big now.
yeah. This is this one under the pillow. Yeah, I just feel that it's really good for dreams. I left it outside because I haven't used it for a while. But yeah, but in terms of like the dreams I have, using this selenite crystal is something else. It's just like, but last time it did get a little bit uncomfortable in terms of, because sometimes it feel like my brain's vibrating at night, and then it's just like, oh, it's a little bit too much. I had to take it out. But that's why it's been here. But selenite crystals, the same thing, like, but that's more for the crown chakra. But yeah, again, just using these crystals to activate different things. Sometimes it can be, just general well-being, but another time it could just be for something like dreams. It could be, I'm sure there's multiple ways that you can use a crystal.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And what next? I'm really excited.
So, and like I said before, you could, like I was saying before, I may as well go back to it in terms of like your green food, because obviously it's all about, the heart is all about nutrition as well. But like we've got your basic like green foods, like your celery, green apples, pears, avocados, and things like that. But for me, it's like one of the, I would say, some of the green algae, like having that chlorella, things like that, where again, it's all to do with air as well, because chlorella, you're getting that air, you're getting that green energy, but then you're getting that air energy, because all of these you could say phytoplanktons, it's all about bringing oxygen into your body. And one of the greatest source of bringing on oxygen into your body is from the sea, basically, from those sea plants. So, and yeah, and obviously, and then you've got your yoga poses as well. So a lot of the heart poses, I'm not a yoga person. Jen, she could show us a yoga pose. But some of the yoga poses, what I've seen, are some of the heart opening ones, where one of the most popular one I saw, like they say, the cobra pose in Kemet, it was they call it the Sphinx, but I would call it could say, I forgot the name now. I forget it. My brain on this thing always just goes. the pressure. Yeah.
Doing well.
Haru, I'll just call it Haru on the horizon pose. Haru on the horizon pose.
Like that. We do that a lot. When we used to do our Thursday yoga in the morning, we do a lot of the cobra ones. We do all of those actually. That's there. Apart from that leaning back one and holding the back, we don't do that one. We do the other three. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, so then, and as well as that, you've got your affirmations, and we'll go into the affirmations after. So you've got your affirmations. You've got sound notes what harmonize with the heart. I'd have to share it, but basically I'll share it with you another time. But basically there's these affirmations, but they're in Sanskrit for your heart chakra. And I was listening to it last week, and this guy was going through it. And it's just like, these Sanskrit, and he's saying that you have to say it perfectly. So he just does it. And I just listened to it before a meditation. And so I think anybody can do that. Just go into like, what was it? It was like, what was it? It was just like a meditation to do with the heart. But he just goes through these, they're like these spiritual sounds, basically. And then, so I just listen to them. And then I could just feel the vibration of the heart just harmonizing with it. Then when he stopped, it just had this vibration, almost like of what the guy said. So, just like, just listening to.
Share that with me. I'll share that on Facebook.
Yeah, so just like, listening to, there was like these Sanskrit sounds to do with like, I don't know, they must have used these sounds in in temples and things like that. And and each sound was a certain sound what vibrates, has a vibration vibration correspondence with the heart vibration, basically. So even things like that, and obviously meditation is like one of the key things for getting in touch with, like just your heart space.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then you've got your essential oils that we went into over the weeks. So you've got like I'd say like the ones I've used is jasmine, and I forgot which one it was. I think I had, it's not on this list, but I had a hibiscus as well. It was like and then so you've got your different essential oils that you can put on your pillow, on your bath. You can use it in a diffuser. You can use in terms of for whether you're for meditation or just having it in your space, just to remind you that you're working within your heart. As well as that, another good thing for or modality for the heart is journal keeping as well. So just having your like whether it's like your heart journal, like things that you would like to accomplish, things that you'd like to forgive, just writing it down.
Okay, I like that.
As well as just writing down things that like it's been said many times, gratitude, which is just like blessings, just thinking about how blessed you are, things like that. So journal keeping is, I'd say, is a really good one for the heart as well. And again, with the journal things, it could be writing in the journal, cultivating forgiveness in the journal, because oftentimes we could be carrying, which is the major thing whenever you whenever you go into whether it's psychotherapy or you're working with plant healing and this, typically it will go back into your past and draw something out, and typically it's always about just letting go of certain things that have happened so that you can move forward. And this is where having which is that manifestation of a block, because of it's like you're still like like it's like being at a tunnel that you can't get through, that you can't get through the tunnel because there's a blockage there. Unless that blockage is open, then you can get through to the other side. And that's what we're doing. That's what you're doing when you're working with your chakras. It's about just climbing up each chakra, working through it. And then if you haven't worked through it, you can't get to the next level. And and that's the point, is to be able to raise your vibration to get to the next level, hopefully to reach what you'd call enlightenment, whatever that is. Okay. And obviously you got like we've just said it, mindful exercise is one of the major ones as well. And then and meditation. And obviously we always do this every week. You've got your affirmations. Do you want to read out some affirmations?
The affirmations, that's my favorite. Right, affirmation time. I am open to the deep reservoir of love in my heart. I am living and I am loved. I am loving and I am loved. I am thoughtful, compassionate, and committed to the unfolding of others. I take delight and joy in the success of others. I open my heart to embrace the world as one human family. I willingly let go of the past and forgive myself and others I love.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I like that. And I was going to say, with letting go, as you know, I'm a great one for tapping, for ho'oponopono. I think they're really, really good modalities for letting go. Of course, now the new one that I'm so pleased to have that to add to my bag is the Byron Katie 4 questions of inquiry also method, which is another great way of being able to let go in the moment, by your whatever story that you're starting to create in your head, especially about others, but very often also about ourselves, really.
Yeah. Like, and as I said earlier about meditation as well, and obviously when you're working meditations, especially with the heart, and we touched on the element of air, which is associated, which is the heart energy. So that this always, then you could go into that really getting into the breath work meditations,
right,
where you're really harnessing the power of the breath, consciously breathing, bringing in that energy. And yeah, again, like there's so many things you can find on the internet about breath work and how to use it, how the benefits of it in terms of cleaning your blood, benefits in terms of bringing that oxygenate in your brain. Yeah, just so many things in terms of even just starting, like typically that's how we start our meditations with, is just a lot just to do with breathing, basically. Just bringing in that energy, bringing in what the people in the Indus Valley would call prana, just bringing in that life energy into the body, you know. And then that's the thing, even like when I was looking at like the element of air, even with the gods, everybody, you know, like in Kemet, it was always about like things flying, because that flying is power. That's like, if you can conquer the air, it's like you conquered self, basically. Or even if you're not even conquering, even if you're working with it, it's like, it's just like the element is always, it's just about freedom and flight and everything else, like when you're working with the element of air, working within the heart. And yeah, again, like I'll go with working with the heart in terms of meditation is working. I need that as a reminder, using this as a reminder, is working with all the aspects of your body, just because of the role the heart plays in the interconnectedness with every part of like your subtle body as well as your physical body. It's like as within so without. It's just your work. Once you're working in the heart, you're working with all parts of yourself. This is like the real place of wholeness, you know. Okay, no, I should really leave that alone. Like that, no, this was just something, the Maslow's hierarchy. I leave that. Yeah. And then, okay, what I was going to say. Okay. Oh no. And before I go to this, even when you're working with, working with the heart, like looking at different things that when you're working with the heart, I found, I saw this one, which was like a sacred journey or a pilgrimage when you're working with the heart. So, you know, like say having a bucket list of a place to go where you've always wanted to go to, something which is close to your heart. So you could say people who follow the Islamic faith, they have something like that when they go to Hajj and walk around the Kaaba 7 times. That is a heart-based journey. So you don't have to be a Muslim to have your own heart-based journey. You know, like I would say when I went to Peru, when I went to Brazil in the past, I didn't realize it was a heart-based journey, but I didn't really look at it like that. But yet again, looking at certain things that have come to my knowledge now, it definitely was a heart-based journey, you know. Yeah. So yeah, just, you know, another heart-based journey I would like to go to is to see like pyramids, whether it's I'd like to even see the great pyramids in Egypt, but I'd also I'm drawn to see some of these pyramids in other parts of Africa, like in Sudan and Ethiopia and things like that. As well as that, they've got I had some experiences recently where I was looking at these mounds in America, and my forehead, like, because I get these things like in top of my forehead, like you could say what people call their pineal gland. I don't know, but it like vibrates and just the pressure. And then when I was looking at these mounds in America, where are they? They're near Mississippi, basically. I can't remember the name of the place now, but there's these mounds in Mississippi, and I was having so much activity, in terms of vibrational activity, just looking at these mounds, and because I get these type of experiences when I'm looking at certain places. Like there's another one, Easter Islands. You know, the statues.
Yes, with the heads.
Yeah, I get these. There's Easter Island, as well as there's these statues in Hawaii as well. and I was getting all of these types of, I get this real mad activity, and I know it's got something to do with Sirius star system, basically. And yeah.
You've got no more information.
Sorry?
You've got no more information than that.
No, they're some of these things are facing Sirius, and typically there's always a Sirius and an Orion mystery to all of these things, basically, to all of these megalithic structures. They often, and the funny thing is, it's like I've got on my forehead, I don't know because I can't see it, but I've got basically a star map of Orion on my forehead. which
really?
Is
it a star?
No, it's just these 3 dots basically on my forehead, where if you put a mirror, it's exactly the same as Orion's belt, and it comes down into where Orion meets Sirius, but it's on my forehead. But it's just, but it turned up when I was like 20 something. I could have said that in the story at the beginning, but it turned up when I was around 20 something, in my 20s. Somebody was like, "What are these dots on your forehead? Like they're just like these." Can you see it?
No, you know me and my eyes.
Okay.
The picture and have you big.
Yeah, but there's these dots, and it comes down there, and they just came, and I didn't. When somebody said it to me, and then in that same 2 weeks, so many people kept on saying, "What's that? What's that?" And then it's like, I don't know. And then now it's just there. It's like I don't even notice. But basically, it's like this like thing of Orion's belt. And then when I look at all of these things, they're always to do with Orion, and there's a lot of things to do with the Sirius mysteries, and obviously that's like you can study like things to do with the Dogon and all of that sort of stuff. And it's like Sirius is to do with, they say it's to do with it's our greater sun. So the sun we see here, like typically, is supposed to be, from what I've gathered, it's supposed to be an illusion. It's not what gives us the heat, because there's so many. I don't know all the technicalities of it, but if you would think that if you're whenever you're closest to this sun, you're in the winter. Whenever you're furthest away, you're in the summer. So even that's just the basics of. I'm giving you the real basic version of it. Like Delbert Blair's he's got a good lecture on the secrets of the sun. So if you want to check out Delbert Blair's Secrets of the Sun, and I think Bobby Hemmett talks about it as well. So a lot of the occultists, who they always talk about basically like this is an illusionary sun, and the Sirius sun, and then there's so many things again in mythology and all of this sort of stuff, and to do with how you could say the gods fell into the physical realm, and of our existence now is that so when they talk about like God's chosen people and all of this sort of stuff, is that these gods fell into this physical 3D world, 3D existence basically, and that this sun is all part of this, like this story basically. And so that we are, or people are supposed to, or some people, I don't know if it's all people, are supposed to be coming out of this almost like this prison, because this whole existence is like a prison where we're imprisoned in our bodies, you're imprisoned in your mind basically. And so part of it is like this story is like to come out of this prison basically. And so part of almost like the narrative is always to keep you in this story of this 3D existence. They, like, you know what I mean, whether it's investing in all of the things that, you know, whether it's investing in any kind of story of humanity. So that's it in itself. And then part of like this existence is always to keep you in this thing and not be thinking about your higher connectedness to the wholeness basically. And as well as that, to keep you away from this the invisible realm is always never to get you to tap in to whether it's thinking about your chakras, thinking about meridians and all of this sort of stuff, or thinking about your aura. But yeah, tapping into all of, just tapping into this other way of, just looking at the world and the universe, looking at yourself and the universe around you.
Definitely. How I've started to really understand it, especially when I was putting together the talk for the Psychedelic Society, is it's very interesting, because it's like we're in a narrow bandwidth in terms of the physical reality, the material world, and actually the system wants us to really be invested in this narrow bandwidth, when actually there's so much more. So actually it traumatizes people. It gives us stories to keep us in this narrow, and actually the real thing is not about succeeding in this narrow bandwidth. It's actually being more than the narrow bandwidth. Leave that narrow bandwidth alone. It's like being stuck on Radio 1 and thinking that's all the radio stations in the world. It's like, leave it alone.
Well, that's what you could say. That's what, whether it's TV media, whether it's social media, but family, friends, everything about you, or your existence, is designed to keep you in this, that paradigm in itself. So it's like, that's just one of the things. It's just like, just part of it. It's just like to keep you in this, and not for you to rise, basically, so that you can be God.
Totally. Oops. Sorry. Oops. I pressed something on Facebook. I was just trying to get a question, but it wasn't a question. It was just a comment. So it's cool. So you put up, this is my art, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that if when you're going into like the gods, what would typify the heart, and then that would be like Maat, which is the goddess of balance, truth, reciprocity, and she had a 42 negative confessions, and I just thought that would be like a deity. If you were going to have a ritual, an altar, or anything like that, she would typify but there's many other deities as well I can think about, but she was just one of the ones what came to my mind when it came to a heart-based deity, somebody who's all about balance and justice. She's like she would be at the fulcrum of the scale, basically. And that's like, and then that's even, and yet again, like with the triangle, that's all to do with the Trinity. That was what I wanted to say before, like in terms of the triangle, in terms of meditation, it's like you're getting in touch with the Trinity, the aspects of male, female, masculine and feminine energy, as well as that, whether it was called chi, or whether it's the Holy Spirit, or whether it's Shakti or Shiva. It's always to do with that energy, basically. But that's like what's it? It's that balance.
Abby just sent a message just saying that she has to leave, but she's really enjoyed everything. Thank you, Abby. I'll make sure that you get the full program. And if you have any questions, oh, she's gone. I was going to say she can type it in the chat, but I think she would have done if she'd had any questions. Yeah. So carry on.
As well as that, like, and then I thought to myself, another deity I didn't bring the picture, but would be Orset, or Isis. Basically, she typified love in terms of, as well as that, they say that when your heart is open, that's the place where you can start healing, like healing and manifestation comes easy. So Orset, if you think about the story where Orset, when he was dismembered by Set, she had to go and find all his bodies. Yet again, she used air, she used flight to go around the world to pick up 13 parts of his body and put them all back together again. That's healing. Yeah. And then obviously then she made a golden penis, had the baby, which made Heru. And so that's and then which was like almost like a reincarnation of Osir. So again, that's to do with transformation. So I thought that story is typifies that heart as well, the heart energy. Yeah.
I'm wondering if people in the room, because we're at we're already 30, have their questions now, and who would like to have you look at their heart chakra. So participants, you can show yourselves and unmute yourself. I can see Nana's unmuted her audio, but you're not saying anything. But if anybody else has a question or a comment, just unmute yourself and unclick your camera. And you can come in. But yeah, while people are, Jill's here. Hi, Jill.
Hey, in the middle of getting my hair plait. Yeah, not so much a question, but yeah, have a look at my heart chakra if you can, please. That'd be wonderful.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Okay.
Okay, I just took a little bit long because the heart chakra is working quite, I'll say, relatively well. But do you mind if I tell you about some of the other ones?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, it's just brief look at it because the heart was working, like I say, quite well. But if like in your own practice, just if you work on your root chakra and your solar plexus, so really start on your root. And then, well, just going up through those 3 chakras anyway, but the root and the solar plexus was they're getting fed a lot by the heart.
Okay.
So yeah, just releasing those 2 would really help.
Okay.
How would you do that? How would you say? How would you recommend her to start working on her root and sacral chakras?
No, the solar plexus. But you can work on, I would say, working on all 3. It's just working, like we just went through them in the week, like just working on those 3 lower chakras. But in terms of the root, working with just the like being like the groundedness and just just really getting comfortable with the place, being in that place on earth, basically, just working it within that root area, just being in that place of being grounded, being comfortable in self. That would just, because without like going into it all, like going into the whole thing, but just working in that root area. And then solar plexus is just working within that stomach area to do with like within your confidence, self-esteem, purpose, and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I understand the solar plexus issues straight away, so I know about that.
Sorry?
I know about the solar plexus issue already, so that's quite interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in terms of going to the root, it's just, I'd say for a lot of people, just in terms of like just being that, like, cause I think that basically at the moment, because I'm just going by like say current climate. At the moment, I think that people's root is basically being under attack, whether they realize it or not.
Right.
because of like yeah, again, going by current climate. Say if you're going around, if you're going out, if you're outside and you're constantly seeing social distance and you're constantly scared to be around people, or you're constantly seeing stay safe, which means translates in terms of your subconscious is I'm in danger, I'm in danger, I'm in danger. I'd say most people need to really be working in that root area and really finding that just taking care that they don't feel that they're under attack. You know what I mean? Just being in that space where you know that inside that everything is being taken care of. You know, whether anybody, society or anybody doesn't believe it, it's about convincing yourself. It's just always making your own assumption that things are working well for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just trying to be in that place, because I feel this is just my personal thing, that I feel that I just feel that people are we've been almost been trained to feel that, to feel scared and feel that you need protection at all times. So it's to really work in that route, is to really start feeling like, getting out of that type of existence, almost getting out of that thing that, you know what, I'm on earth and I was meant to be here or I wouldn't be here, and anything that really takes me away from that feeling, I should question it at the very least.
And that's exactly it. I guess the route for me is kind of watching everything unfold and feeling that there are powerful forces out there, and that rocks my route completely, because I'm concerned, so
And I see that, like, that's what I see with a lot, like with just a lot of people in terms of their stability. So, and it just shows whenever I'm looking at people's route, it's just like, and there's many things as well, because like in the route you carry, there's ancestral issues that people carry within their route area as well. So it doesn't have to be just the present. It can be like clearing certain things that may have been ancestral, that you're carrying, like you can carry with you as well. So just being in that place where just being aware of all of those issues, and just being comfortable in that space. So some I always just think meditations are really good for the root. That's my main focus in terms of meditation is meditation, and breathing into that area, and really using the breath to breathe into that area.
Because I was listening to you earlier about the prana practices which you're doing since coming back from retreat. So that's been great in balancing the energy. So I can see why my heart would be powering everything else.
But the heart space was running well. So that's beautiful.
Excellent.
Gratitude. Thank you. Thank you
so much. So, Abinabu, are you gonna turn on and ask a question? Do you want to have your heart read? I can see you're there. Or not?
Hello, sorry.
That's all right.
Hi. One sec. My washing machine's kicking off in the background, so I'm going to apologise for the sound. Let me just turn my...
No problem. You can turn on your video if you want, but you can leave it off if you want.
I can't find the icon. Where's it gone?
I think I can do it for you then.
Oh, yeah. Go on then.
Let's see. Oh.
Oh, here. Hold on. Yay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya. All right, I'll give you a quick read in. Okay. Yeah, the heart chakra is a bit blocked. It was running clockwise, but I could feel a blockage. And if you don't mind me saying things, like,
no, go for it.
Okay, so because it was very quick, like I didn't like, but it was just telling me that maybe something to do with family, in terms of the heart. Then the solar plexus was what's it, overactive to a degree, and so that was having and it was like there was an association between your solar plexus, some activity, because it was overactive, and your throat chakra, which is a bit blocked, which was, yeah, it was all these three things in terms of how they were working with the heart as well as yet again the root chakra was quite blocked as well. So yeah, just a few blockages which would be affecting, it was affecting the energy of the heart, but the energy of the heart wasn't getting the greatest energy because of, yeah, it might have been, yeah, certain something related in terms of the heart, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what should
Thank you. Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
what to do with those multiple things
yeah.
there?
Because of, like I said, it was like, in terms of like a reading, it's not quite quick. But if I had to, because of just the places where it was blocked, I would just basically just always start in terms of that root space in itself. If you're starting anywhere, it's just to start in that root, because it's always the foundations to start, and then just start working the way up, basically. But then in terms of even just, like, it doesn't mean that you don't work on any of the places, but things that we've talked about before in terms of just, getting in touch with that heart space. If just whether it's just, talking to the heart, whether it's in meditation, just to release anything that you might be holding on to or anything like that, which has been there. And again, whether you're working with the root, whether you're working with the heart, both of those things are very much associated with can be ancestry, carrying things, from the past as well. It doesn't have to be in this life; it can be in a past life as well. And it's just like, you can see, like especially when saying the earth, if you put the H in the other side, you're going to get a heart. You can even see the associations between those, even in the words, those two bodies, basically. So just working from that root into that heart space. But if I had to say anything, just working in that root, and then just we can work in that heart space. But obviously the solar plexus, as I was saying, was a work, because if it's overactive, basically. It was a bit overactive, so it could be feed in another place, but it's so short. But I would if I could go into it further, and then I can give you like more information, but I could just see where it's blocked. And typically when I balance the chakras as well, that usually gives me indications how the systems are, basically, because the connections will be made in terms of, okay, this will get fixed and that will get fixed. But it just felt like just a few places those lower regions just need to be tackled, basically. But I can feel maybe a bit more, like a bit of self-love, just in the terms of emotion that I got, like in terms of the emotion that I felt in that area when I went into the heart. It might be, so I can feel something to do with self-love, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Wow, that was great. We've come more or less to the end. If anybody else wanted to say something.
And the last one for the lady as well is I just got this now. It's like when I was in the heart space, it was like it's almost like I could feel a lot of energy in the left side of the brain. Like there's a lot of maybe yeah, maybe getting, when I'm saying about self-love, maybe getting into the space of getting into a creative space, like thinking a lot about creativity.
Okay.
Like, yeah, just because when I feel a lot of, it's almost like there's a lot of, you know, like logic almost, like, and then yeah, just trying to get, yeah, maybe doing certain things creative, just to release that, yeah, that right side of the body, yeah, getting into a bit more feminine space or something.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Journaling, drawing, that type of thing, like gardening type of.
Hugging some trees, you know, yeah, painting, and just, yeah, but even just going out, buying stuff just for self, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just really paying attention, not even buying, just paying attention to really being kind, like to self. That's, I don't know, that's what I was getting. I don't know.
Fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Yao. So yeah, we've more or less come to the end. We've got 4 minutes. So I don't know if Jen or if Nana wanted to say anything before we come off. No, Nana seems to be off, and Jen hasn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, just to say we're all good, but again, thank you for hosting to both of you. So, yeah.
So thank you very much, everybody. So next week we are up to the throat chakra.
Yeah.
Yes. And what do we have in store for us? Like, what's a 1 minute kind of pitch about the throat chakra that we should kind of almost like be thinking about as we head towards the throat chakra?
Communication, and I would say because sometimes it's always about communication, but I think something we miss a lot is just listening. Like, I think, yeah, that maybe it's just me, a personal thing, but yeah, being able to listen, because I would say, yeah, I'll just say, yeah, just getting into that thing of being able to listen. And yeah, like I'd say, and this week, and it's funny, I just offended, like even just like for people, individuals, just exploring like a chakra a week yourself. Because what I found when I've been doing this is that each week it's almost like I've had to go on my own little personal journey. And so this week was like really getting into this heart space. And then I found, yeah, I just found certain things just happening, or just thinking in a certain way, just because of, I was just like, yeah, just even taking time just to read about the heart chakra in itself. I feel that will do something for your heart chakra, because yeah, each space I've been to, I've had different, like this week I was what was it? I was in the gym, and then there's this place I can always feel the energy of the meridians. There's a space where it's opposite the Town and Country Club in Finsbury Park, and I always feel the energy, and it's a church now. But when I was standing there, and then at one point I just felt this vibration, and then it was just this, and I was telling Jen at the time, like, what it's happened a few times recently, but it's almost like I can feel this, almost like the energy of the chakra comes out of my top, like from the top, and it just was spinning and spinning and spinning, and it was just like, wow, I just feel that just being in, talking and reading about being in the heart, yeah, it put me in a certain state of mind, and then it was just like thinking about, and it just gave me that thing about thinking about, yeah, just being in the heart space, and just doing things just for the sake of being in that space. So yeah, you just, you know what I mean? So that was just one of the things I just wanted to, just leave with, in terms of just working. It can be just once a week, just reading a few passages, whether it's the affirmations or something like that, but just focusing on one aspect, because sometimes we're like, oh, you're just working through, but you can just you can do that yourself. You can just see what feels good, and like and so this week, for me, it will be communication, listening. I feel that I would say relatively I'm good at, in a personal thing, speaking my truth when I need to speak my truth, but maybe the listen, but I'd say the listening aspect is something to work on. So then that, for me, it will just be that's one of the key things I'll be thinking about, is listening, trying to listen to your heart, your intuition, and all aspects of your being, basically, and really just opening up to hearing.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to try and spend this week really thinking about everything to do with the throat chakra. And
or if you're somebody who likes stories, maybe reading up about Tahuti, because he's like the person, like he typifies the voice and knowledge and things like that. So it could be just, you can find a deity, like even reading up a story about a deity who's to do with the throat. And for me, and whether it's crystals, I'm gonna go into the throat, but basically just even working with that lapis, because that's the key one for the throat.
Oh, fantastic. Jill, did you want to say one last thing before we come off? Okay, excellent. All right, thank you everybody on Facebook and who joined us by Zoom, and see you next Sunday for the throat chakra. Bye, Deva.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Nana. I know your bits and pieces aren't working, so she couldn't come on. All right, my guys, take care, and I'm going to be ending. Oh.